Okay.
So they can say
the indigenous
over to the
people,
print up
not only
$500 million for us.
America,
Print it up. We need it. We're going to
but
buy
of
some
the
assets.
Western Hemisphere.
How do they do that? They're going to cause. They can't just. So when they buy the oil becomes collateral behind the money.
Sure.
They can't go and burn up all the oil.
Not as Puritans.
They got to hold on to the oil while that
not
money's out
seeking,
there. Then when they sell the oil, they got to take any money they get for that and put it back in the treasury and not just spend it again because they created it to buy that asset.
Okay.
And that asset secured it. When the asset's gone, the money has to be destroyed.
Sure.
So they hire professionals to do that, the Federal Reserve.
And they don't consider you one.
For us to
Oh
say
yeah, they do. The Federal Reserve, I went to Harvard Business School for 1 year. I didn't graduate, 2-year program.
trying to get
And my mom was an economist,
civil
taught me some
rights,
stuff. So they pretty
while
much
at the
respect
same
what I
time
say.
we are denying
Who was your mom? Your mom, yeah.
human right
Dorothy Hale,
of self-determination.
Vassar, Phi Beta Kappa. She worked for
I'm
Nelson
honored
Rockefeller
to
for
be
1 week,
here
and then she quit.
in
Became a
front of
housewife,
this
raised 3 kids,
great house
and worked like
that was built by black slaves.
like a slave for the kids, the family, totally devoted to
So
us.
I don't think I'm encroaching
What background do you come from?
on any American
Middle class, New England area,
by standing
boarding school, college.
the
How about
ground.
yourself?
I'm well, like as I
That
said,
was
I'm from
paid
New
for
Jersey. My family come out of Georgia.
with the sweat
Now, are you
and the
Irish?
blood.
German? What's your?
Irish, Scottish, English sort of extraction.
okay.
Yeah. You remind me of one of my football coaches, Al Switzer. He was German. But you're
And then great
what's your extraction, should I ask?
Well, I work for American Airlines.
Danny Davis
And I'm just out
for
here
having shepherded
interviewing people,
through
trying to get the
both
stories,
houses
trying to put them on YouTube, trying to get
a
people
joint
to know
resolution
Great.
trying to
that
get a record
allows
of our
us to be
conversations, of the
on
comment.
the
I would have brought my bigger
Capitol
camera to shoot the march, but I said this time I want to interact in the crowd. So that's what I'm doing.
I was so touched
I asked that because you seem to be a person that's putting your life aside
by
for the
our
betterment of man.
native brothers
Yeah,
and
And that's
sisters
different. People don't really do that.
and Hispanic
Well, yeah, if I didn't have the money, I'd be living at the shelter.
and some
I was for a while.
may
Back in
say,
'83, I was here living in the front of the White House with a
why
demonstration.
are you
During the Reaganomics.
talking
Yeah, right.
to all of these different ethnicities?
Okay, why not?
We have to accept our position.
Jay, come on, Jay. So
I love
finding the
my
highest
sister and
authority
those
is how I try to
standing
solve
with her
problems.
who champion the call that Black Lives Matter. I felt so happy to see her
This is
and
liberty.
to hear her and to know and for her to know that she and Black Lives Matter
You want your dad to hold your hand
are
while you pet
welcome,
him?
have a cherished
Want me to pick the
spot
dog up so you can
because
feel
they represent the future leadership. These are not just young people who happen to wake up one morning.
You can do it. Come on.
Ferguson
You like to touch your dad.
ignited it all. So all the brothers and sisters from Ferguson, all the brothers and sisters that laid in the streets, all the brothers and sisters that challenged the tanks, we are honored that you have come to represent our struggle and our demand.
I would say this right
Here's
here.
some food supplement I happen to have. Have you guys tried this at your ministry yet?
No, well, I don't do
the
something.
quiet
I do real
sun.
food.
Well, this is not a supplement. I said it wrong. It's 100% of the daily value.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
That sang,
your vitamins, carbohydrates, protein, and all that stuff. 4
I'm good.
times a
I'm
day.
good. I see. I'm good.
song that he wrote
Let me ask you, if they listen to you in the House of Representatives, they must have great respect.
Yeah, it's
To
pretty
even let you
amazing.
in.
And to all of you
Even to let you
who
in.
made
You,
this day so far
it's a
what
blessing.
it is.
That shows that they are on some accord, that they're coming around.
Yeah, I've been around half my life on and off coming here. They all got to know me, and it's a real tribute to America that our system is open enough so that somebody who's patient enough, and you try to speak in requested remedies that don't embarrass people. You try to augment the response inventory deficit disorders. You try to add tools to their chest.
Sure.
And then
And they deserve
you prove you're looking for forgiveness, repentance,
And
forgiveness, seeking an acceptance of forgiveness.
Well, you know, it's all about forgiveness, because if we went for retaliation, where would we be? This here is only going to get you this. Where would we be? You know, we talk one thing, but where would we really be? And who really wants to get on a...
It's a natural instinct. Only animals that show aggression mate for life.
which was a
Conrad Lawrence, he studied this. He's an anthropologist. And the two tropical fish, they swim at each other just like they're going to attack or eat, and the last minute, they veer off.
I've seen it on.
That's their mating dance. So the aggression turns into the bond of the love. Hate and love are not the opposite. Hate and love are the same high energy level. The opposite side is apathy. I just don't care.
Right, sure. How can we bring this whole thing together? What do you think that we can do? You're a man that's out here with the people. You talk to the House of Representatives. You're talking to politicians and things like that. From what your journey, and your journey is very important because you're among the people and you're very comfortable. What can we do to bring us together through force, to bring us together in a harmony of love, as Dr. King would
on
say?
whose shoulders we stand?
Well,
I feel that the ancestors are happy
I suggested that Barack
that
Obama
a young generation has
resign about a month ago.
I saw the faces
He'd get the second Nobel Peace Prize for resigning. Joe Biden would become president. He could pick anyone for vice president. They'd have to confirm it in the Senate. He could pick Hillary. Hillary would be in. That'd be over and done with. Then we get to the next election next year, and people would say, wow, things can change fast. And maybe, who knows, you and I might get elected. I might say well, what if you were vice president and you resigned? Now we got another situation just like what already happened. Joe could, let's have a private election to pick the vice president. He resigned. So the president then can have a private election, invite everyone to vote again.
But we know that
If we think we can last
space shuttle take off from Washington. That's just not going to happen. We know that right there. That's just not going to happen. But I understand what you're saying.
So next, so second best,
that are here.
we could do something about our energy problems that would unite the whole world.
We know who you are.
At, what is it?
And
84 watts per square meter per 8-hour day or something. I figured this out once. You get enough solar energy that if you build a solar wall that's 100 meters tall and 10,000 miles long, you can catch enough sunlight to generate 16 petawatt hours per year, which is the total energy we use on the planet right now.
But you know, Germany years ago had a program like that. They were thinking about doing it in the 60s, building one of the biggest windmills of all times. A 100-story windmill that would always catch the wind. But for whatever happened, it didn't go through. I understand your point. That again makes a good point, but people are just not going to do that. People are just not, you know.
that is
Well, I've
willing
already
to
seen some plans for it. I mean, how
sacrifice
sturdy
its
does the wall have to be? All it has to do is hold the solar
to see a
panels.
better
That's it.
future?
They're in Korea.
our
They
children.
ran a video 2 days ago. They have the deepest metro system in the world, 100 meters down. And they showed the escalator in the video clip.
Wow.
So 100 meters might be doable, maybe only 50 meters, but you get a right of way with that. The guy earlier talked about being a citizen of the world. Don't let the flags fool you, that you have the right to go anywhere you can breathe or walk and that stuff, he said. So on a smaller scale, you can start that kind of thing with a humanitarian corridor. And behind the wall here, this conjunction of set up a latitudinal traffic pattern, east to west, west to east. Most of the conflict is north to south, south to north, right? They go for the resources, and the other guys go to migrate, and they go down. So we go east and west, and we smooth it out.
But where are we going to find people that's willing holistically to do something? That would put the money, that would be a helpmate for
The IMF, they have the House of Representatives can mint money to buy the assets that are under our sovereign title. The IMF is an international monetary fund, and they have the authority with the concurrence of the members to issue what they call SDRs, secure drawing rights, and that's a form of credit that all the nations agree to recognize. So the IMF can say we need $14 trillion to build our solar wall that'll generate 16 petawatts of.
But why won't they say? Why won't they?
They'd like to. They only have $1 trillion balance sheet right now. So we're talking about going from $1 trillion up to 10 trillion or $100 trillion, which is 10 or 100 times their current size. And that makes them, that's a big factor.
That would be a wonderful project for everybody to work.
Yeah, right.
And we all would benefit. But the thing is that who would actually be behind it? IMF, you say, have the money.
The national banks, each country has a national bank.
Sure.
So when the IMF issues the new, they call it a tranche, TRANCHE, and say they put out $10 trillion, then say they have 100 members, so that's roughly $100 billion for each member, average. And that would go to the national bank in that country as a restricted under a covenants, trust agreement. So they can't go out and blow it on buying gas and cars or something. So it's for the wall. And we got blueprints ahead of time. Somebody has blueprints in here.
A man who came
In the final call?
and dislodged them. A man who came seeking a new route
Good, Matthew. Careful, you guys.
to India and ended up in America. And when they saw the original people,
here it is right here.
They must be Indian. But we
Look
white
at this
folks
for your
don't make
camera.
mistakes like that. But they're not just Indians.
Doesn't it say
Nor
blueprint,
are
right?
we African
That's what
Americans.
justifies the minting of the funds, that the
Here,
blueprint is good as
before
gold.
a continent named Africa
You have plans,
was
and you
named,
can prove it's going to
we were
produce this
certainly
energy and
here
stuff, so you can
before America's
bank on it. It's like good as gold.
This part of the world was named after him. So we don't diminish ourselves.
So the
by
IMF, the
naming
engineers, they run
ourselves
through it. They say, yeah, it's going to work, and it'll give this much energy. And look how much you're paying for energy now, so you know it's worth that much. So you can issue this tranche that goes into the national banks of each member. It's under covenant. They can only spend it in relation to their part in the plan. They sign up to do various segments of it and
in
whatever.
the beginning.
Then Wall Street can get involved because matching funds. There's already
You are not
$85 trillion on the planet kind of floating around. So say we get $8 trillion of that invested in the project. So we got 10 or 100 trillion from the IMF, we get 8 trillion from the private sector.
any man.
We got a
that
10,
was
50, 100-year plan to build this huge wall, get traffic moving east and west, the Caribbean, Mexico, India, Cambodia, Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Northern Africa, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, all become very important because they're right where the sun hits the best, at the Tropic of Cancer. We got the FIFA soccer league, they had a big scandal to get everybody pay attention. Kicked the soccer ball around the world. I have that on Facebook, like from 10 years ago. Kick the soccer ball around the world. Get people interested in where the route is going to go ahead of time. Then introduce the blueprints and the plans. Now we're building an asset. We're talking assets. Like our Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him. He got all the tribes to work with him. They all had graven images inside the oldest house of God, just like Jesus had to put up with the money changers inside the Holy Temple. Jesus said, no way, man. You're using temple security for your business cover. Either you're not even paying the temple, you're just sitting there making money off it. Get out of here, get out of the street, set up your tables out there, make the streets as safe as the temple is. That's your job. So Jesus threw them all out. Muhammad, 33 generations later, he does the same thing. All these graven images are inside the oldest house of God. Each tribe comes to town, has their holy day. That's our God in there. We're okay, we got our God in there. He says, no, there's only one God. You can't have all these. You got to take them out. Take them out. They all start to get pretty angry, man. Man, you messing with our God. That's our God. So Muhammad says, look, instead of all that, we'll take this one stone that represents the creation that the God makes, and we'll put it in the corner on the outside by the door of the oldest. Only God can go inside, but outside, we can all share this idea. Okay, our tribe is going to put it there. No, our tribe's going to put it. No, we're not. So, Muhammad says, Bismillah, you can all help. We'll get a blanket, and each your tribe hold the blanket. I will stand on the blanket. I will hold the stone. Together, you will carry me and the stone, place it. We all get credit together. Same idea with the blueprint. We'll all carry the blueprint together and place the energy into the future. We only have 600 million years left before Red Nova. It gets too hot to live here. 600 million years. One of the smallest numbers in the whole story. We're talking billions and trillions. Everybody's a big shot there. Bill Gates got $25 billion. But he's only got 600 million years before he's got to be on a spaceship. So it all makes sense. And by keeping my nose to the grindstone on the thing, my prayer is to catch on somehow between your video, my video, word of mouth. Enough people want to do it. We get ourselves elected and we actually do it.
Okay. It was wonderful. It was a pleasure interviewing you. What's your name again?
Bill or Muhammad? And should I ask yours again?
Zachariah Jackson.
Zachariah Jackson from New Jersey.
New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey.
Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
Newark. Oh yeah, Bill Bradley. Yeah, Zachariah Jackson.
Newark, New Jersey. It was on. Okay.
I will try to find you, inshallah.
My name is Valencia Muhammad. I'm a resident of the District of Columbia. I'm with an organization called freedc.org. We have been promoting the status of DC, the fact that we want DC statehood across America. We're asking other Americans around the United States to support our quest for DC statehood. A lot of people are very lax when it comes to the fact that 650,000 residents here in the nation's capital are not free. We have become part of the dealing with the servitude every day of the white supremacists, white racists here on Capitol Hill, under the guise of the Congress and the Senate. And so we're asking people to support us. We're trying to collect 1 million signatures this weekend. We ask them to go on our website, freedc.org, sign our petition, so that we can send this to the President and to the Congress, because Congress does have the ability to give us statehood, and we have more people in the District of Columbia than they do in maybe 10 other states. So, and we pay the highest taxes. We don't have representation in Congress. Anything that we vote on here in our area has to be approved by Congress within a 90-day period. And so
y'all don't have a city council?
We have a city council, but they have no power. Everything has to be anything that they do has to go up to Congress.
Because y'all don't have a governor, is that right?
Because they don't allow us, we're not a state. We're not allowed to govern ourselves.
Okay.
And a lot of of people don't know that they said, okay, well, we think it was a part of the Constitution. Actually, it was added to the Constitution. It's one of the 23 amendments to the Constitution. And since it wasn't amended, that amendment, that means it can be amended again. So we like for people to...
Well, let me ask you this right here. I've heard this before.
Yes.
Under Jesse Jackson, years ago, Reverend Jesse Jackson talking this years ago.
Yes. That was in the 90s. In the 90s.
Yeah, 80s and 90s. So, why didn't it happen then?
And it was, and at the time of Jesse Jackson, it was a predominantly Democratic Congress, and still we didn't have statehood. You have a lot of Dixiecrats who are actually Democrats, and so we didn't have DC statehood. They're saying DC is too black, too liberal, too progressive, and too Democrat, and therefore we were blocked. And so therefore we said we don't care. We're going to fight for this, especially for us. Our people came out of slavery. They were enslaved here in the United States of America, and we became free. In 2015, if we can do that, we're saying anything is good for us, and we want statehood, and we want it now.
Okay. How can they reach you?
How can we reach it? Okay, well, here we have a phone number here of 232-232-2500. 202-232-2500, or they can go onto our website at www.freedc.org.
Okay. And if they call that number, they'll be talking to representatives that represent.
Right. And we also have we also have a curriculum, a guide for teachers, and we have information and brochures for students so that they can engage in debates and conversations and write essays and learn more about our quest for DC statehood and the history of it. And so we're ready. We currently send out packages to all the 50 states to the ranking of the 10 highest ranking public schools in each state, 50 states. And so we're trying to encourage the history classes to engage in dialogue about DC statehood.
Have you made any progress?
Yeah, we've made a tremendous progress.
Have you got anybody in the House of Representatives to reach back out to you guys? Or
we need about 218 votes in order for it to move forward, and currently we have about 147.
So it hasn't even been argued on the floor yet?
We have 140, yes. It's been brought. It was introduced by our congressional representative who's not allowed to vote. She introduced it on the first day of the new Congress. So it's introduced, but now we have a situation where we're trying, you need 218 votes in order for it to move forward. We have 147. So at the third week of every month, we go lobby certain congressional leaders and senatorial representatives, getting them to, putting pressure on them from from their own states, so that we can get their constituents to put pressure on them, so we can.
I want to work with you. I'm in the state of New Jersey, and what I'll do, you give me the card, I'll call you, and I'll treat it like I can do in New Jersey. Then I'd like to come down here again and interview you guys.
It's the third Wednesday of every month. We go on statehood and we do what we call our.
And what time are we talking?
Normally we meet around 10 o'clock.
In the morning.
We might meet in the Longsworth building to congregate. We might do tea, coffee, or breakfast there. We give everybody their materials, and then we disperse.
Are we allowed to tape?
Oh, yeah.
The video?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll be in contact. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
All sides say some of us leave at that time, and they're still there all the time. Well, the march is about over. I've come, I've heard the message, and only one that's here can be a better judge of the message. It was good to be out here among the people instead of me going actually up toward the minister. I decided this time to work in the crowd. I got many interviews in the crowd, so it was a good thing to actually meet with the people. I met with a person that had an Afghan hound dog, taller than me, and he talked about everything. Building a 10,000 mile solar panel to heat the whole world. So the IMF bank, oh my God, yeah. But it's just good to really be out here with the people, just to talk with them, and that's all. And just get the comment, man. What they say. The march, like I said, only those that come or they hear the message can be the true judge. I won't step on the limb to say anything, but it was a good time being here. And 20 years, I look back 20 years ago, coming down here with my F-150 white pickup truck and the hotel trying to figure out where they're going to park it, and park it in the state of Virginia. So I had to wait 3 hours to get the truck back, Of course, after going through the truck, and I was lost. I remember leaving the march. I don't know, my equilibrium was off, and two brothers from the Midwest guided me back to the hotel. And I sat there and waited for my truck. Then I got lost again. But it was beautiful because I was able to stay until the march was over. Yeah, from the beginning, I stood from 10 o'clock to like 7, 8 o'clock that night. I was up front. At that time, I didn't have video camera and things of that nature, but it was good. So it's good to be out here, and I'll just let the camera play itself out, roll itself out, and just watch the people leave and everything. And one thing about Washington, D.C., you don't want to jaywalk. I was cautioned by one of the Capitol Police not to jaywalk, and had I jaywalked, that perhaps he could give me a ticket. So we didn't jaywalk, we waited, and we walked as the light led us to walk. The 25 seconds across the street. But it was good. People always being around the people and seeing the characters and seeing the many different people, that it gives you energy. We only have hope that we move way from here. Again, this is the American Reverend Zachariah Jackson from the church. Oh, what's happening? Basa News. I'll keep the camera rolling.
We have to take over the educational system. Because the